The Lockless Door by Robert Frost. It went many years, but at last came a knock, and I thought of the door with no lock to lock. I blew out the light, I tiptoed the floor, and raised both hands in prayer to the door. But the knock came again, my window was wide, I climbed on the sill and descended outside. Back over the sill I bade her come in, to whoever the knock at the door may have been. So at a knock I emptied my cage, to hide in the world and alter age.
I'm going to read a poem by Philip Larkin now that Ixmal has passed over, and it's called A Rundal Tomb. Side by side, their faces blurred, the Earl and Countess lie in stone, their proper habits vaguely shown as jointed armour, stiffened pleat, and that faint hint of the absurd, the little dogs under their feet. Such plainness of the pre-Baroque hardly involves the eye until it meets his left-handed gauntlet still, clasped empty in the other, and one sees, with a sharp, tender shock, his hand withdrawn, holding her hand. They would not think to lie so long. Such faithfulness in effigy was just a detail friends would see, a sculptor's sweet commissioned grace, thrown off in helping to prolong the Latin names around the base. They would not guess how early in their supine stationary voyage the air would change to soundless damage, turn the old tenancy away, how soon succeeding eyes begin to look, not read. Rigidly they persisted, linked through lengths and breadths of time. Snow fell undated. Light each summer thronged the grass. A bright litter of bird calls strewed the same bone-littered ground, and up the paths the endless altered people came, washing at their identity, now helpless in the hollow of an unmemorial age, a trough of smoke in slow suspended skeins above their scalp of history. Only an attitude remains. Time has transfigured them into untruth. The stone fidelity they hardly meant has come to be their final blazon, and to prove our almost instinct, almost true, what will survive of us is love.
This is Rice Pudding by A. Milne. What is the matter with Mary Jane? She's crying with all her might and main, and she won't eat her dinner, rice pudding again. What is the matter with Mary Jane? What is the matter with Mary Jane? I've promised her dolls and a daisy chain, and a book about animals, all in vain. What is the matter with Mary Jane? What is the matter with Mary Jane? She's perfectly well, and she hasn't a pain. But look at her, now she's beginning again. What is the matter with Mary Jane? What is the matter with Mary Jane? I've promised her sweets and a ride in the train, and I've begged her to stop for a bit and explain. What is the matter with Mary Jane? What is the matter with Mary Jane? She's perfectly well, and she hasn't a pain, and it's lovely rice pudding for dinner again. What is the matter with Mary Jane?
Okay, this is by Margaret Atwood, and it's called Bored. All those times I was bored out of my mind, holding the log while he sawed it, holding the string while he measured, boards, distances between things, or pounded stakes into the ground for rows and rows of lettuces and beets, which I then, bored, weeded. Or sat in the back of the car, or sat still in boats, sat, while at the prow, stern, wheel, he drove, steered, paddled. It wasn't even boredom, it was looking hard and up close at the small details, myopia, the worn gunnels, the intricate trill of the seat cover, the acid crumbs of loam, the granular pink rock, its igneous veins, the sea fans of dry moss, the brackish and then the greying bristles on the back of his neck. Sometimes he would whistle, sometimes I would. The boring rhythm of doing things over and over, carrying the wood, drying the dishes, such minutiae. It's what the animals spend most of their time at, ferrying the sand grain by grain from their tunnels, shuffling the leaves in their burrows. He pointed such things out, and I would look at the walled texture of his square finger, earth under the nail. Why do I remember it as sunnier all the time then, although it more often rained, and more bird song? I could hardly wait to get the hell out of there, to anywhere else. Perhaps, though, boredom is happier. It is for dogs, or groundhogs. Now I wouldn't be bored. Now I would know too much. Now I would know. I was bored by Margaret Atwood.
Some William Blake. Yes, I searched the internet today and raided various sources. This is Songs of Innocence. Piping down the valleys wild, piping songs of peasant glee, on a cloud I saw a child, and he laughing said to me, pipe a song about a lamb. So I piped with merry cheer. Piper, pipe that song again. So I piped, he wept to hear. Drop thy pipe, thy happy pipe, sing thy songs of happy cheer. So I sang the same again, while he wept with joy to hear. Piper, sit thee down and write in a book that all may read. So he vanished from my sight, and I plucked a hollow lead, and I made a rural pen, and I stained the water clear, and I wrote my happy songs, every child may joy to hear.